A shrill scream sliced through the air of the hospital room. Tiffany stared, disbelief etched on her face, at the baby beside her. This baby is so ugly. Her eyes were red-rimmed, tears streaming down her cheeks. She looked at me, pleading. Claire, what am I going to do? She's ugly, and a girl. What kind of future does she even have? My mind went blank for a second. I looked around, the realization hitting me like a ton of bricks. I was reborn. In my past life, my best friend, Tiffany, had gotten pregnant out of wedlock. The father disappeared, leaving her alone. She'd said the baby was a precious life, deserving a chance in the world. But after the birth, seeing the baby's less than perfect features and her gender, Tiffany completely changed her tune. She didn't want anything to do with her. I tried to reason with her, telling her not to judge based on looks, not to be prejudiced against girls. But she wouldn't listen. In the end, I took pity on the child and adopted her. But she was a handful. She cried constantly, day and night. She was sickly, falling ill frequently. She was sick several times in the first month I had her. I poured my heart and soul into raising her, without complaint or regret. Yet, when Tiffany ran me over, leaving me critically injured in the ICU, my adopted daughter snuck into the room and pulled out my oxygen tube. She even signed a statement of forgiveness for Tiffany. Because the one who hit me was my best friend. Claire, if my parents knew I was pregnant and had an ugly baby girl, they'd kill me. But your parents are gone, and you're alone. Why don't you let me adopt Rory? She can keep you company, you'll have each other, and I'll feel better. Rory. That was the name Tiffany had chosen for her child. Before the birth, she'd been convinced she was having a boy, already picking out a name. Seeing my silence, she tugged at my sleeve. I snapped back to reality, a cold laugh escaping my lips. I yanked my arm away. Why would I adopt your ugly spawn? Tiffany was stunned. Samantha, another friend sitting nearby, jumped up, indignant. Claire, what are you saying? Tiffany is only trying to help you, and you're being so cruel. Her righteous anger almost made me forget she was also complicit. In my past life, I raised Rory to 15 years old before I met someone. He was kind and wonderful, proposing to me. He didn't mind that I had an adopted child and promised to love Rory as his own. We were planning our wedding. But when I told Tiffany and Samantha, both of them vehemently opposed it. Tiffany accused me of being heartless, believing a man's lies, saying that once I had my own children, I'd neglect Rory. Samantha calmly dropped a bomb. If Claire gets married, Rory won't get any of the inheritance, right? I was so naive back then. I focused on reassuring Tiffany that I'd always love Rory, never noticing Samantha's words. That's how Tiffany, fueled by Samantha's words, deliberately ran me over the day before my wedding. Samantha continued her tirade. Claire, how can you be so heartless? You're not even willing to adopt a child, and you're not short of money. Besides, you're alone. You and Rory could rely on each other. Can't you be a little more compassionate? I looked at Samantha coldly. You're so compassionate, then you adopt her. Let her rely on you. Wouldn't that be better? Samantha instinctively retorted, what are you talking about? A little girl I can rely on her for. She cut herself off, realizing her mistake, her voice trailing off nervously. My mockery deepened. Her hypocrisy was blatant. Tiffany's eyes reddened. Claire, if you don't want to adopt her, fine. No need to attack Samantha. I'm not the type to beg. I scoffed. I hope not. Tiffany's parents had died when I was young, leaving me a substantial inheritance. In my previous life, Rory's constant illnesses drained my time and money. I took her to countless hospitals, both domestically and internationally, desperate to heal her. By the time Tiffany killed me, Rory was 15, old enough to know right from wrong. Suffice it to say, I raised a viper. After leaving the hospital, I went home and slept soundly. In my past life, Rory cried incessantly from the moment I adopted her. I was woken up dozens of times every night, always comforting and tending to her needs. My 20s were spent looking like I was 40 or 50. Thinking back, I was a complete idiot. But since fate had given me a second chance, I'd see how Tiffany and Rory would fare without me. The irony of the situation was that only minutes earlier Tiffany declared she wouldn't be clingy the next morning. She sent me a message. "Claire, are you awake? I want chicken soup. Go buy a chicken and make some for me and send it to the hospital." A sardonic smile curled my lips. I blocked her number. She'd gotten used to bossing me around. In my past life, after Tiffany gave birth, she didn't dare tell her parents. I took care of her postpartum care, making sure she ate well, staying up late learning how to prepare nutritious meals. This time, forget about it. I turned off my phone and went to work. Entering my office, I saw Samantha talking to someone. Upon seeing me, she spoke in a sarcastic tone. "Oh, look who it is, our fake do-gooder." Samantha explained, "Didn't Claire donate $500,000 to an orphanage recently? The director even came to the company to thank her. We all thought she was such a kind person. But then Tiffany had her baby. As you know, Tiffany is young and inexperienced, so she asked Claire for help. But Claire not only refused but also called Tiffany's baby ugly." The colleague's eyes widened, one exclaiming, "No way. Claire really said that? How can she judge someone's appearance like that?" Samantha sneered, "Exactly. She pretended to be so close to Tiffany, so kind. Turns out years of friendship went down the drain." I walked calmly to Samantha. "Does it taste good?" Samantha was taken aback. "What? Years of friendship, fed to you, does it taste good?" "Oh, sorry, Samantha, comparing you to a dog insults dogs." Samantha exploded, pointing at me. "Claire, who do you think you are? You pretended to be so close to me and Tiffany, but when things get tough, you show your true colors. You're so fake and disgusting." Fake? Tiffany and Samantha and I had known each other for years. After college, I even recommended them for jobs at my company. I treated them generously, showering them with expensive skincare, makeup, clothes, and bags. Samantha married early, and cried to me about her parents' favoritism towards sons, and lack of dowry. She worried about being looked down upon by her in-laws, so I bought her a car outright. They would send me links to whatever they wanted, and I'd pay for it. I was an idiot, acting like an ATM machine for them, only to end up dead. Samantha's chest heaved with rage, attracting the attention of other colleagues. "Claire is a fake do-gooder. She made a big deal about the orphanage director's visit, even getting it on the local news. But in reality, she's a mean, nasty person. She pretended to be so close to Tiffany, but as soon as Tiffany gave birth, she upset her so much that she was bedridden. My poor Tiffany is worried about the coming cold weather and asked me to remind Claire to dress warmly." I did donate to the orphanage, anonymously, but Samantha found out by going through my phone. I asked her to keep it quiet, but it spread throughout the office the next day, and the orphanage director unexpectedly showed up at my company. From that day on, Samantha called me Claire the Saint all day long. Now, my colleagues were joining in, criticizing me. "Claire, that wasn't right. You shouldn't call someone's baby ugly. Your colleagues, and you and Tiffany were best friends. You should have helped her after she gave birth." Before I could respond, Samantha's phone rang. It was her mother-in-law. She answered, a furious older woman's voice booming through the speaker. "Samantha, are you trying to kill me? You have a friend named Tiffany who brought an ugly baby to my house to have her postpartum care. The copyright of this content belongs to Real Novel." Chapter 2. What? Samantha's jaw dropped. "Get your ass back here." Samantha's position in her husband's family was never secure. Her mother-in-law's word was law. The moment she hung up, she grabbed her bag and rushed home. Our sales team is always out on the road. A nosy coworker blurted out, "I'm going out on a sales call," and followed Samantha to her house. At Samantha's doorstep, we saw Tiffany holding Rory. Only days postpartum, she was still pale. Samantha's mother-in-law spotted her and unleashed a torrent of abuse. Is that your friend? Get her out of here. What the hell is that thing she's holding? It's terrifying. Tiffany's eyes were red, her face crumpled with grievance. Auntie, you're being too harsh. This is my daughter, Rory. She might not be the prettiest, but since Samantha and I are such good friends, I decided to stay at your place for a while. I'd seen Tiffany's shameless side before. A smirk played on my lips. Samantha's mother-in-law was shocked. What do you mean? Are you expecting us to thank you or something? Tiffany waved her hands dismissively, her voice sugary sweet. Oh no, you're too kind, Auntie. I'll treat this place like my own home. No need to be formal. Tiffany's words made me burst out laughing. Samantha's mother-in-law's face was beyond mortified. Seeing Tiffany about to enter with the baby, she blocked the door, glaring at Samantha. You worthless piece of trash, what are you standing there for? Get her out of here. I crossed my arms, mimicking Samantha's previous tone. Samantha, you and Tiffany are so close. She's in trouble, you wouldn't be so heartless as to ignore her, would you? All the coworkers were watching. Samantha shot me a hateful look, then turned to her mother-in-law with a fawning expression. Mom, Tiffany's situation is special. She's weak after giving birth. We just let her. What did you say? Her mother-in-law cut her off. You worthless trash. Are you itching for a beating? Who gave you permission to say that? Playing the Good Samaritan, huh? You're so pathetic, volunteering to take care of her postpartum. In front of everyone, Samantha's mother-in-law slapped her across the face, then pinched her arms and stomach, making Samantha cry out in pain, but she dared not resist. The coworkers whispered amongst themselves. Samantha sobbed. Mom, stop. I'll give you money, I'll give you money. The mention of money stopped her mother-in-law's hand. Samantha, tearfully, pulled out a card, which her mother-in-law snatched. You worthless trash, hiding your money. This is my bonus, Mom, just let Tiffany stay for a month, I'll work harder next month. With the money in hand, Samantha's mother-in-law stopped her attack. She coldly snorted at Samantha. Get back to work and earn double next month. Samantha, overjoyed, went to Tiffany. Tiffany, don't worry, I won't let you down. Tiffany sobbed theatrically. Samantha, you're the best. Some coworkers praised Samantha. Samantha's a true friend, willing to go the extra mile for her friend. Amidst the praise, Samantha gave me a smug look. I stayed silent, wanting to see how long Samantha could put up with Tiffany's never-ending demands. The next day, Samantha was cheerful. She bragged about Rory. Rory's so good. She doesn't cry at night, she blows bubbles, she's adorable. Such a sweet child. Someone actually called her ugly. What a nasty, heartless person. Samantha glared at me. A coworker who saw Rory that day commented, Tiffany's child doesn't really look good. Samantha immediately retorted. What's wrong with her looks? She's a baby. Don't be as heartless as someone. The coworker shut up quickly. For the next few days, Samantha praised Rory and belittled me. At first, coworkers engaged, but soon grew tired of it. Eventually, Samantha stopped. Her dark circles grew worse, her skin turned sallow, and she looked exhausted. Clearly, she was sleep-deprived and overworked. Taking care of a sickly child wasn't easy, was it? A month later, Tiffany returned with Samantha, carrying several cups of bubble tea, which she enthusiastically distributed to colleagues. She gave me a drink and a fancy pastry. Samantha chimed in, Claire, look how nice Tiffany is to you. Even after what you did, she doesn't hold a grudge. That's what we call class. I looked at the treats on my desk and said nothing. Some coworkers who accepted the bubble tea echoed Samantha's words. Claire, you're colleagues, and you were close before. You should help each other. It's always good to be helpful. The chorus of agreement made Tiffany and Samantha beam. Samantha turned to me. Claire, Tiffany stayed at my place for a month, I put in the effort, so you should pay. We won't ask for much, we know you're stingy. Just 20,000 for the month. I looked them up and down. Both had an air of entitlement. Why should I? Tiffany frowned. Claire, how can you even ask that? Didn't you hear what everyone said? I did. So? I smiled slightly. I wouldn't even give that to a dog. Samantha exploded. Claire, you're shameless. Tiffany gave you bubble tea and a pastry. We've known each other for so long, how can you be so heartless? I raised my voice, playing on their words. Colleagues, Samantha and Tiffany said that since you all drank their bubble tea and have known them for so long, you should all chip in to cover Tiffany's month-long postpartum expenses. 20,000. Cash or transfer? The office fell silent. They looked at each other. Are you crazy? It's not my baby, why should I pay for her postpartum care? You drank their bubble tea. You've all known each other for so long. You should help each other. A cup of bubble tea isn't worth much, I'll return mine now. Shouldn't you help others? Helping people isn't like this. What does it have to do with us? I watched them. One colleague turned to Tiffany. Tiffany, if I remember correctly, you got pregnant out of wedlock, right? A young woman should be more careful. Others agreed. Tiffany blushed, Samantha smiled awkwardly. They returned to their seats, silent. During a break, in the restroom, I overheard their conversation. Tiffany, you've been at my place for a month, my mother-in-law is unhappy. Maybe you should. Samantha was cut off by Tiffany. Tiffany whined, Samantha, are you kicking me out? Give your money to your mother-in-law, then she won't say anything. You know, Rory has Down syndrome, she's hard to care for. We're such good friends. You should help me. I don't have much money. Then earn more. You said you wouldn't ignore me. The whole office heard. How much can I earn? It's not enough for you, and I don't have any money to give to my mother-in-law. You should have savings, give me your savings. No way. I need my savings for clothes and bags. I don't even buy any. Then get out of my house. Samantha, you can't do this to me. We're such good friends. You can't ignore me. If you suddenly kick me out, what will the colleagues say? Samantha was furious, her chest heaving. Tiffany continued, Samantha, go to work. I'll go home with Rory. Oh, I want cherries. Buy some for me when you get off work. Tiffany left, leaving Samantha fuming. I saw her take out her phone. Tiffany's mom? It's Samantha, Tiffany's friend. I need to tell you something. Tiffany had a baby. I thought Samantha would continue to support Tiffany, but she was more clever than I thought. But I didn't expect this to involve me again. A middle-aged couple appeared at the office entrance. Recognizing their resemblance to Tiffany, I knew who they were. A bad feeling washed over me. I tightened my grip on my phone. They were looking for me. You're Claire, right? Tiffany's father approached, his brow furrowed. I took a step back cautiously. What's the matter? You bitch. Did you ruin my daughter's life, causing her to get pregnant and have a baby? Before I could react, he slapped me hard across the face. I stumbled, twisting my ankle and hitting my arm on a chair, wincing in pain. Tiffany's mother lunged at me, slapping me repeatedly, pulling my hair, yelling. You ruined my daughter's life. I'll get you. As she beat me, I saw Samantha, a gleeful expression on her face. I glanced at the office security cameras. I didn't fight back. The sudden attack stunned the coworkers, who intervened, pulling Tiffany's mother away. She continued to scream that I was to blame. A coworker asked what happened, and Samantha immediately stepped forward. You wouldn't believe this. Apparently, Tiffany's pregnancy was Claire's fault. She took Tiffany out and caused it. If it weren't for Claire, Tiffany wouldn't have a baby so young. The coworkers gasped. Really? Claire is that terrible? I can't believe Claire is like this. Tiffany's parents kicked me a few times. Samantha helpfully intervened. Uncle and Auntie, don't be angry. We were just too kind, we judged people wrongly. I'm fine, but poor Tiffany, she had to suffer so much, but now we need to find a solution. Tiffany's father seemed to calm down. You're right, the damage is done. We need a solution. You little bitch, listen up. My daughter's been ruined by you. You're responsible. First, you'll take the child and raise her. Second, you'll pay my daughter $500,000 in compensation. Samantha agreed. That's not too much to ask. Their coordinated performance made me realize they were trying to extort money from me. Tiffany's pregnancy was entirely her fault. She was naive, falling for an online romance after just a week, agreeing to meet him. I warned her about the dangers of online relationships, but she secretly met him anyway, and got pregnant. The guy vanished. I suggested calling the police, but Tiffany stopped me, playing the martyr, saying she wouldn't pursue it. I suggested abortion, but she said the baby was a life. Now, they wanted to blame me? No way. I checked the time the police should arrive soon. Sure enough, just as I thought, police officers appeared at the door. Tiffany's parents froze, then yelled, "Who called the police?" I stood up. With the security cameras, they were trapped. Tiffany's father shouted, "Officers, this bitch ruined my daughter. I was just getting revenge. I didn't do anything." You beat her up like that? The cameras are right here, we're not blind. Tiffany's mother said quickly, "She ruined my daughter first. She got my daughter pregnant." I smiled coldly. "Officers, besides the assault, I'm also reporting them for slander and defamation. Thanks to Tiffany, she lived at my place for so long in my past life. My house has security cameras. I have video of me advising Tiffany against meeting the online guy. The video showed everything. When I showed it, Tiffany's parents turned green. They panicked. Haha, officers, we were joking. Joking? Just playing around with this girl. Police, you think we're idiots?" Tiffany's parents were taken to the station. I refused to settle, and they ended up paying my medical and psychological expenses and spending a month in jail. But it wasn't over yet. Tiffany and Samantha found me that afternoon. Tiffany's eyes were red, looking like she'd suffered a great injustice. "Claire, I've always been accommodating, but aren't you being a little too much? My parents are old. It was just a joke, why did you send them to jail?" I stood up. "Tiffany, if you have mental problems, go see a psychiatrist, get a grip on reality. I don't need you to tell me what I am." Tiffany closed her eyes. "But you hurt me so much, I think our friendship is over. Samantha, let's go." They left slowly, as if waiting for me to beg them to stay. This was Tiffany's usual tactic. In my past life, when I didn't satisfy her needs, she'd use their friendship as a threat. I was pathetic, always giving in. I leaned back, watching their retreating figures. They reached the door. I didn't call them. Tiffany glanced back. I waved goodbye. She turned green, and they left. I collected receipts for everything I'd bought for them over the years. But the best was yet to come. Going to get replacement receipts, I saw two familiar figures at the hospital, Samantha's husband, Lee, and Rory. I parked discreetly and followed them. I heard Tiffany's voice. "Lee, thank you so much. Without you, I wouldn't know what to do with Rory." Tiffany's tone was full of gratitude. Lee was pleased. "No problem. You're staying at my place, helping you is natural." "Thank you, Lee. I envy Samantha for having a husband like you. Unlike me, I was completely scammed." Tiffany's eyes reddened. She pouted. She was pretty, the delicate type, easily evoking sympathy. Lee was charmed, wiping her tears. "That man's terrible. But Tiffany, don't worry, if you need anything, I'm here for you." "Thank you, Lee." It's good to have you. Tiffany leaned against Lee's shoulder, her body brushing his arm. I checked my phone. Samantha posted on her social media yesterday that her son was sick, and she took him to the doctor alone. Lee was at the hospital with another woman's child. Interesting. I wondered how Samantha would react. I left, got my receipts, and went home. A few days later, Samantha sashayed past my desk, sporting a diamond necklace. A sharp-eyed coworker asked, "Samantha, your husband bought you diamonds?" Samantha scoffed. "No, it's Tiffany's. Tiffany is popular and has many friends. A friend from her hometown gave it to her." Tiffany said, "Her things are my things, I can wear whatever I want. We're such good friends, we don't care about these things." Samantha looked at me smugly. Her arrogance made a coworker roll their eyes. I ignored her. I hoped Tiffany's hometown friend was real. I was looking forward to the fallout. That night, a phone call woke me, Samantha. She was crying, begging me to come over. I almost refused, but a thought struck me. I got out of bed. Upon arriving, I saw Samantha sobbing on the floor, her face red with slap marks. Neighbors gossiped at the door. Tiffany was sitting on the couch, disheveled, while Lee looked irritated. Samantha clung to me like a lifeline. "Claire, you're finally here. You have to help me. Tiffany is sleeping with my husband." Tiffany said tearfully, "Samantha, what are you saying?" "I just bumped into him, and he checked if I was hurt." The words made Samantha go over the edge. She tried to slap Tiffany, but Lee kicked her away. "Enough. Do you know how embarrassing this is? I helped her because she's your friend." Samantha cried, "You know it was late at night. Why would she need help at that time? Claire, help me. You don't like Tiffany either, right? Speak up for me." I pulled away from Samantha's grip, smiled, and said calmly, "Samantha, you're overreacting. He was just being helpful. Don't be so petty. Besides, you and Tiffany are such good friends, you shouldn't care about these things." Samantha froze. Tiffany's eyes lit up. "Claire's right." Lee waved impatiently. "Enough. It's late, let's go to bed." He stood to go to the bedroom. Samantha stopped him, pulling his shirt. A receipt fell out of his pocket. Lee's face changed. Samantha grabbed the receipt. Seeing it, she shrieked, "Bitch! I'll tear your face off. That necklace, your husband bought it for you. You lied to me." I looked at the receipt. I'd guessed right. "Lee, help me!" Tiffany cried, but it only enraged Samantha. Lee wasn't going to stand for it. He grabbed Samantha's hair, slapping her. "Enough. Are you done yet? Do you know how embarrassing this is?" Samantha looked at me for help, but I watched silently. "Claire, what are you doing here? Why aren't you helping me?" Samantha's voice was full of resentment. "Oh right, I almost forgot." I took out the receipts from my bag and threw them at Samantha. Tiffany got the same treatment. "These are the receipts for everything you've taken from me over the years. Pay me back within 3 days, or we'll see each other in court." I smiled and left. But I didn't get the money from Tiffany and Samantha. Instead, Tiffany fell to her death from a high building. Samantha pushed her. After leaving Lee's house, Samantha wanted to kick Tiffany out. Tiffany refused, and Lee said he wanted a divorce. Samantha blamed Tiffany, saying she seduced her husband. They struggled on the balcony, the window was open, and Samantha pushed Tiffany out. Tiffany's parents learned of her death after being released from jail. They went after Samantha, demanding $1 million in compensation, otherwise, they'd send her to prison. Lee's family distanced themselves from Samantha. Samantha found me. "Claire, please. I know you have money, help me pay the $1 million. I don't want to go to jail." I looked at her coldly. "I'm heartless and don't like to help others." Samantha's face froze. She cried and apologized. "Claire, it was all Tiffany. I was tricked, manipulated. I've realized my mistake, please help me. I smiled slightly. Okay. Hope flickered in Samantha's eyes. Okay, my ass. She thought I'd still be her patsy? She killed someone, even with a pardon, she'd still go to jail. Samantha would spend the rest of her life in prison. After Samantha's imprisonment, Tiffany's parents, having received no money, went to Lee's house to cause trouble. They blamed Lee for Rory, saying Samantha had made Rory her goddaughter, so Lee was the godfather and should take care of her. Would they stop there? No way. The next morning, I found Rory at my doorstep. I'm not prejudiced, but I have to admit that faces reflect character. Abandoning a child is illegal. My house had cameras. The video clearly showed Tiffany's father sneaking Rory onto my doorstep in the middle of the night. I called the police. He was arrested and sentenced. Rory went back to her mother, then her death was reported. She apparently fell off the bed in her sleep. A 2-month-old baby can roll over? Interesting. But it's none of my business anymore. My future is ahead of me.